So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Pauline. I'm working for a project, and I'm here with Mabu, who's been doing a program with us in China a few years. And we'll be chatting today about her program, her experience, what she's now doing, and how her program helps her career. And we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. I've prepared a few from Mabu so she can tell you all about what she's been doing in the program, since the program as well. And off, I'll let Mabu introduce herself and say hello to everyone. But if you do have questions during the session, there's the Q&A at the bottom of your screen where you can pop them, or you can also put them in the chat, and Mabu will be more than happy to answer every question you may have.
Hi guys. Hi, I'm Mabu. So I participated in the Pagoda project. I was in Qingdao, China for a few months. And yeah, I just want to tell you guys all about it because it was an awesome experience. And yeah, I just think all of you guys should know and find out more about it and how I've grown since then and answer all the questions you guys have.
Amazing. Thanks, Mabu. So yeah, tell us a bit more about your program to start with. So you went to Qingdao in China, where I got to meet you because I was there at the time. So tell us a bit more about what you did over there so more about that.
So yeah, so I took part in an engineering internship where I worked with an engineering company that focused on different aspects of engineering. Some of them were like doing the screens for like Samsung as well and so on. It was an international team. So I'd go to work early in the morning and I'd get back late, but would have like a free shuttle bus to work. And then we'll have like free food at work and then the free shuttle bus back to work, which was really lovely of them. It was a big team, some members from India, some from the UK, Germany, obviously some from China. And my main focus was two things. I basically had to see if the products were certified to become medical certified in Europe. And also I had to focus on an IoT mesh network. Basically what that was is basically having two devices speak to each other without Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So I had to like design a code for them to speak to each other. And it was mainly about registering the temperature. They worked on vacuums, like industrial vacuums, not like cleaning vacuums, but like suction vacuums. So that was the focus on the company. And I had to keep like the temperature and all of that. They had to like make sure that data was recorded. So kind of what the device I was designing, I was coding, would basically like speak to each other and register what the temperature is and so on. So I started off by trying out and testing out the temperatures from different parts of the location, the office, and they basically register back to each other. That's basically what I did there. And I also had my Mandarin class, which was part of the project. And yeah.
So thanks for that. Was that what you studied at university as well? Was that like your major? Is that why you chose that internship?
So at university, I studied medical engineering, like clinical technology for medical engineering, which is more like prosthetic parts and so on. However, I'm more into the tech side on how to I want to know how the process works. That's why I chose that, because I got to see how the process was working. I got to practice my coding a bit more, because obviously I coded at university, but because it was more medical focused, a lot of our classes were science-based. So that gave me the opportunity to basically try out the codes and see them work and so on. I also had a fellow intern who was working with me, who was very helpful. His name was James. And yeah, I'm still in touch with him as well.
And you said you had like Mandarin lessons. Did you know any Mandarin before you did the program, or was that totally new to you?
So I barely knew any, honestly. I grew up watching some Mandarin TV shows, but that was basically it. But I just knew like hi, bye, small words like that. So those lessons really helped, because even before going, I was so focused on saving up that I didn't even like enroll to anything. But you guys gave us the like Mandarin blueprint, so I took a bit of a look at that. And then once I got there, obviously that helped a lot, to the point that I took even extra classes because it was so helpful. Yeah.
And like, how did you find out about the program? What made you decide to do it? And yeah, how did you hear about the program and decide?
Okay, so I'm quite confused as to how I remember hearing about the program. I don't know if
it was a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw it on an Instagram ad. I don't know if you guys were running Instagram ads. Were you running Instagram ads?
Probably maybe Facebook at the time,
I
but
think,
yeah.
yeah, I saw an ad somewhere. And then I put my name on it, and then I completely forgot about it. Like I had no hope, because basically I went to uni and I wanted to do a year abroad, but then I found out that my course wasn't doing it. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to find a different way. And then I looked everywhere, and it's like so pricey. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't afford that. I'm studying now at uni. And then I saw this one and I just put my name and I completely forgot about it. And then one day I got an email saying, oh, it's like the reminder, it's almost application time, it's like almost gonna be over. And I'm like, oh my God. And I panicked and I went to like because my computer broke. Like I saw it on my phone on Gmail. My computer had broken that time. So I called one of my friends and I panicked, and we went to the uni like computers, and then she helped me, and I just typed my final submission. I was like, I need to submit it before I go home. I need to submit it. And I submitted that. And yeah, I forgot about it for a bit, and then all of it just boom happened all of a sudden. Yeah.
Nice, that's cool. Well, I know it was a long time ago, so I'm not gonna be like, what was the application process like? Was it easy to start? But we'll focus more on what you experienced like you and what you learned from it. But before so you said you watched a bit of Mandarin movies and things, but did you have an interest in traveling to China one day before the program? And is that also why you decided to do it?
So I've had family members in China, actually. I didn't go to see them when I was there because it was so far. China is massive, but yeah, I did have family members in China. And I think I've always been interested, like literally when I say I've been watching like Mandarin programs since I was a kid. I literally grew up like with the novel of The Monkey King. I don't know if you've heard it. And it's basically like the most popular like childhood growing up novel in China. And like I just used to watch that as a kid. Kind of my parents, they brought us up with a mindset that you should learn about other people's culture so that you respect them. Just because people are so clueless about ours, the last thing you want to do is be clueless about other people's, right? So like China, Japan, I had family members in Japan. I've had like family members who lived in Japan for 20 years plus, right? So I've always been interested to go to that side of the world. I just never knew when it would happen. I remember just praying to God that my uni course would have it as part of it, but it didn't. So yeah, I was like, I need to find a different way. And yeah, I've definitely always been interested. Yeah.
That's amazing. And during the program, so when you went over there to China to do your internship, you were with a group of other people. Did you know anyone before you went, or did you just meet everyone when you arrived?
So basically there was a group chat before we went. So that was nice. That's how we got to know each other. We were talking about how much we're going to budget and so on. Thanks to that, I got to fly out with one of the people from the group chat, so that we flew together to China, and some others flew together as well. So that was very interesting. I didn't know anyone personally, like as in we applied together or went to the same uni, nothing like that. But thanks to that group chat, it made me like comfortable to meet them once I was there, because it kind of felt like I knew them already. Like we got to talk about our background and what our views were and so on. So that was definitely like a bonus. Yeah.
Nice, that's cool. And are you still in touch with anyone you've met from the program? So either the other students who came, or maybe your colleagues or people you've met along during your program?
Definitely. I think I'm in touch with 90% of them, like via Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or via email even. I'm definitely still in touch with them. We still talk once in a while. We're trying to plan a reunion as well. So yeah, we definitely still talk. I mean, they all took part in different sectors, which was very interesting, just to find out how the workflow was like in China for them, or how they took an approach to different things such as law, and so on. So I'm definitely in touch with all of them. And like there's two of them that I'm like always speaking to, because I hanged out with them the most in China. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning before we started the event that, yeah, you're still in touch with them, and even maybe hopefully planning to go back at some point because
Yeah,
you just really
hopefully.
loved
Yeah.
it. Hopefully you came. That would be cool. And how about your company? So are you still in touch with any of your colleagues or clients you've met or anything like this?
Definitely. So I'm still in touch with my colleagues. So obviously I still had them on WeChat. We speak a lot actually. I remember like 2 weeks ago, I was still talking to one of the heads at the company I worked at. And like he was just explaining to me how kind of like getting a visa to go to China right now is a bit hard. And the kind of letters you need to go back and so on. And like they were like referring me positions if I was interested. because I reached out to them, I was like, what kind of positions do you guys have available and so on. And also you also recommended, obviously, because it's so hard to go back to China right now, I could basically look at, because it's an international company, they do have offices in the UK. So it was also recommending that, which was very interesting. Yeah, I definitely keep in touch with all of them and like check on them once in a while to see how they're doing. And it's nice to see that they all work still at the same company, and they post a lot of pictures, like, because they had like a lot of work trips and so on. So that's definitely nice to see.
That's really, really nice. And since your program, so did you go back to uni? Did you now find a job? What are you doing now that you've
So I had just finished uni once I went, got back and started getting into AR. So certified myself in AR, and then I started certifying myself in some Google courses, just to like do something, because obviously it was like lockdown, no one was doing anything. So I just kept on like wanting to practice obviously what I'd done and like apply it to different things. And I guess I came to the realization that I wanted something where I could do from anywhere, because I realized I like traveling so much. So I kind of like just focused on shifting myself towards a career where I can control where I'm at and so on. Yeah, definitely.
And do you think, like, how did the program help you on like deciding to go towards AR, or like how do you think the program helped you choose what you wanted to do next?
So one of the tasks I actually had while working in China, it was a visual recognition camera thing that we were planning to build. I didn't get to it because it takes long, and ordering the parts, we're still in the process of receiving some of the parts. And basically, because I had worked at Amazon before, what I was in China to do as well was to the packing time, to make the company's packing time much faster, and so on. So they were planning on building like a camera that detects what pieces are, so that it could make packing quicker and you know what you need to pack and so on. So that's basically one of the things that inspired me, because I was kind of like working with that, but not fully working with that. Obviously, I like art. I absolutely love art. I like technology. I said, was that product design for my A levels, right? So basically, I definitely wanted to go towards something like that, and basically that's what dived me into AR. Like now, it's basically I get to design stuff for like other companies and bring them up, and yeah, that's what shifted me towards that.
Nice. So would you say that the program helped like you affect your career path in like a
Definitely.
way? Not
Yeah,
just the internship, but the overall experience as well, maybe.
yeah, definitely. I also work in finance. I work 3 days in finance and then 3 days on my own business. So yeah, definitely it's set my career path, because I learned a lot about myself. Definitely. Like I learned that I don't want to be in one country. Like everything is so digitalized right now, and going to China kind of felt like it was about 3-5 years ahead of the rest of the world. And it's just like little things that you don't even notice. Like you don't pay attention to it, but it's kind of like the small things that make like a bigger impact. So kind of like going to China made me realize that I wanted to have something that's fully digitalized, because that's where the world is heading. Like it's fully heading digital. So also I realized that I like to work with products and so on. Like I'd love when my colleagues would come back and tell me, oh, about the trip that they went to Shanghai to show a product and all that. So I was just thinking about it, what if it was digitalized and so on. So therefore that shaped the way I view my career right now. I still work in finance because I need a full-time job, but definitely because my business right now is client-based, so it depends on client per client. So having a full-time job in finance also helps with the business I'm running, because then you understand your finances better, and also it helps me save for my future travel.
There you go. And what did you learn about yourself? So you said you learned a lot about yourself, not just in a career way, but did it like open your mind and things? And
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always had that open mindset. Like, I'm just all about go see it for yourself. Like, usually it's like if you think like of something, if you're wondering something, like I think people have such a big like perception of what China is, but no one's been there. So like they just go off what they see online and so on. So I definitely think that if whenever this kind of situations, whenever you run into this type of situations, just go see it for yourself. And it always turns out to be the other way around. Like of your initial view. So therefore that mindset was like cleared, that I was like, yes, this world is therefore like what we see on social media, what we hear in the news. And when you go there, it's completely different. So that changed my mindset. It also changed my mindset towards people, because I got to meet wonderful people. Honestly, it's like, because you're at uni, you tend to be busy. And in that mindset where we had to like work together to think of things, to like use maps and so on, it therefore like got me thinking about how just collaborating with people is and how it works. And because I hadn't worked in an office environment yet, like that was my first office environment, just having the interns there also speak about it and all of us doing it together was therefore beneficial, because you realize what kind of things you feel comfortable with, and you learn how to speak up about things you don't feel comfortable about. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely does. Definitely does. And like you said before, everyone in the group of students that went at the same time as you was doing different things. They were from different uni backgrounds and things, so you could definitely exchange tips on how you were living your own program and getting on with your internship and overall experience as well. That must have been helpful to have other students in the same boat as you at the time.
Definitely. I think only one had gone to China before, but she hadn't stayed long, so it was fully new to all of us, like literally new. And it's kind of like China's a country that you barely hear from the people themselves. It's usually you just see like all of this other platform media. Yeah.
Yeah, and your job in finance, do you think having that abroad experience on your CV helped you get that job, or helped you build your business? Like, do you think it made you a bit more employable to have that as an experience on your CV? Do you think it helped you in any kind of way?
Definitely. I mean, it was the highlight of my interview for the job in finance. I just work as an analytics right now, but my own personal career definitely had the big impact, because just seeing how different people worked, because obviously it was a big office and we had different sectors, different sections, and just seeing how the assistant was helping the head like deal with things, you know, like when I had to go to my Mandarin class, she'd have to like book me a taxi, and kind of like seeing how all of these little jobs are divided amongst people definitely helped. When I started off my business, I was doing everything myself, and I started noticing that I was just putting too much pressure on myself, and kind of like thinking back at my journey in China and seeing how everything was divided to then do the whole final outcome, and also made me realize that I can outsource or find other people to help me. So like thanks to that, I kind of like started getting people from different parts of the world to also join me in my business, where I just work with them like in a contract work, and like they help me when I get a client and I need something. I just reach out to like one of my teammates in Nigeria. I do have like a teammate in South Korea if I need any graphics, or like one in France. So like that basically helped me build like a team and realize why a team is needed instead of pushing everything towards yourself. Because I think that's the mindset I had initially. But then when I thought back about, oh, how was it in China? How were they able to manage their deadlines and so on? To be honest, the company barely had deadlines, but it was mainly focused on do what you do and do as best as you can, and give yourself a time frame. Does that make sense? But obviously now working with clients, I do have to give them an exact time frame. And it kind of made me realize that, look, you don't have to push it all on yourself. It might cost to outsource some of the work, but sometimes it's good to outsource it because it could eventually make it bigger. And also a reason why I outsource internationally and not just like for people in the UK is mainly because it helps you think outside the box. And that's one of the things that I definitely enjoyed having in China and working at an international company. You think outside the box, because usually you just do something and you're just thinking in your own bubble, but then someone can always bring an idea. Or even if you do something that, for example, may be not worded right, you know, and someone from a different country may not understand how it's worded, working with an international team can help you highlight that and like sort it out and so on. Or like even if you're like, you know, loads of companies doing just offensive things and everyone's wondering why they're doing offensive. Therefore, it went through the editor, it went to the cameraman, it went through this and that and that. But then having an international team helps realize that although it may go through a cameraman and all of that, they may not have different mindsets to the initial person. So working with an international team kind of like stops you and like it makes you realize, hey, look, this may not be okay with certain people. You can fix that and so on. So definitely like 100%, it helped me shape my mindset. Like we had like Diwali, we had 3 Indian members in our team. And just because of that, the company I worked at literally hired an entire catering team for Diwali for them, for the entire company. And that just felt like inclusion and just obviously made me appreciate inclusion much further. Yeah.
So was that in your company in China that you had that
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So yeah, honestly, we had like Christmas. The Christmas tree was bigger than the building itself.
Nice.
Honestly, they were very like connected, everyone together. And obviously me being Muslim, they were happy to ask me questions, and they actually understood a lot of things. Like I thought I had to go and explain myself, but a lot of them did understand and knew what I was coming from. I actually had like recommendations and so on. So that was really wonderful. Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing to see that. Yeah, you managed to work within an international team and that helped you. And as you said, was the highlight of your job interview. So that's really, really good for anyone listening. Definitely makes you like, oh, yeah, that is actually something I can chat about in my future interviews. Is valuable. But another thing you're also doing on the side of like your job, your company, is you're also very active on social media and chatting a lot about your experience and other things you're interested about. Do you want to tell us a bit more about how you started all that on TikTok, social media, and everything?
So yeah, so even before going to China, I grew up in a city that's very small, and basically there was barely any like halal food or anything like that. So as soon as I went to uni and I saw how much halal food there was out there, I used to just record it and I'd edit it, but I was always scared to post it. I just edit it and it just be on my computer. I show my dad's like my biggest social media fan. But yeah, I'd basically just show my dad and my family members. And kind of like as soon as I found out I was gonna go to China, I just worked saving up and I was like, I'm gonna get my first ever iPhone because I had an Android. So I was like, I'm gonna get my first ever iPhone and a DJI gimbal, which is basically like a camera stabilizer. And as soon as I got that, I'm like, I'm just gonna go and I'm going to find halal food anywhere I can, and I'm going to post it because one of the things that worried me the most about going to China was, am I going to find halal food? Like I never hear about halal food in China. So I did my research, and once I got there, I got to find it and record it and show people. And I think it's one of the biggest worries people have when they're traveling in the Muslim community. We're almost 2 billion people. And everyone's always like, am I going to find halal food if I go there? So basically that obviously encouraged me to actually start posting the stuff. I started posting it on YouTube. That wasn't going well. I think I got like 250 subscribers. And then I was like, you know what, the whole purpose of me showing this is for as many people as possible to see it. And everyone initially thought, yeah, TikTok is for kids and whatnot. And that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm just going to post it on TikTok and see what happens. And that's when I saw that loads of people were wondering if they could find halal food in certain places. And it was also a deal breaker for them. And in addition to that, I also wanted to answer questions for the Black community, you know, because obviously they're wondering how they're going to get treated. You know, the main thing that actually made me decide that, okay, I'm going to go to China was an article written by a previous alumni. She went to Qingdao, and I think she was Pakistani, she was Muslim, and she just wrote like a piece about the mosque and being Muslim there. And that really encouraged me. And I was like, you know what, people need to see it, and I need to do my best to try find it once I go there. So even when I got there, I didn't find the mosque because I didn't know how to use the map well. But then we went on a hike, and then I saw the mosque from the hike, and like that was like an exciting moment. Honestly, I literally took a video about it. I was so excited, and all the other interns were so happy for me. So yeah, it's just like kind of like showing the world how it is firsthand instead of just like hearing secondhand information, you know. Definitely that's the main goal, to just show people how I experienced it and just like make people understand like obviously because I grew up in 3 different countries, I already understand that different experiences can vary towards what country you go to. But then going in China, a country where a lot of the information like that goes in can be controlled, it was very important for me to show people how I saw it. And it's not as it's not like it's such a big mindset that people think how controlled it is. It's not that it's not even controlled like that, you know. So I just wanted to show people like to see firsthand and definitely see how it is for myself. Some people are still in denial. I get comments where people are like, it's CGI, it's a lie, she's getting paid, and so on. But yeah, to me, at the end of the day, it's my reality, and I just want to show people it. And it's definitely nice to see that loads of people as well like can relate to it. And I feel like it definitely encourages more people to start showing their own experiences as well, definitely.
That's amazing. I really love your TikTok, and someone said that in the audience as well. But is there one video that like changed everything for you, made your TikTok or other social media go viral, or is it a bit of everything and the way you now know how to use it that makes it big and attracting so many followers?
Definitely, it's the food content. I think, yeah, the Pagoda project with the TikTok manager, I believe she was last time I attended here. She mentioned that the most popular content on TikTok is food. So yeah, food. Everybody loves food. Everybody cares about food. And yeah, definitely the food, because I started posting food back to back, and then people were like, oh my God, she's Muslim, she's Black, and she eats halal, you know? And in Asia, like it's people like such a big question mark. And it's something rare to see. Like even when I was there, it was rare to see for myself. So definitely, I think that's what definitely drove people in to come and see. A lot of the videos of China, people rarely get to see, like unless you're on Douyin, you're not really seeing China itself, you know. So I wanted to show people just China as it is, like karaoke, like fan events and whatnot. I think my first ever video to publish was about karaoke in China, and it was such a beautiful place that everyone was just like, wow, 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 wow. So yeah, that was interesting. But definitely food was the biggest turning point. Also a lot of like, kind of when you make a TikTok, the way the TikTok is gonna react or end up depends on the For You page, the country it goes to. So if I make a TikTok right now and my goal is for people to see in the UK, if the UK people see it, then good. But if I make a TikTok right now and I'm just like a general TikTok, and then it ends up on a different For You page, for example, if it ends up in America where a lot of the racial issues are being spoken about and so on, the outcome of the video would be very different. So basically I made a video, for example, I asked genuine question, what happens to the pictures you take of us Black people? Because it was a genuine question. I literally thought I may have been in someone's family photo or whatnot. And I just asked, but because that ended up on the American For You page, I got to start learning a lot of mindsets that Americans have towards this kind of thing happening. And because like even in Italy, I'd have pictures taken of me as a kid and so on. So I knew that because I grew up in the Alps and it's very like empty. I knew from that age that it was a lot of curiosity, but then it opens a different mindset. Once you post on TikTok, everyone gets to tell you what their mindset towards that is, or other Black people started opening up about their own experiences in the comments, which was really nice. And that you see people come together and like discuss issues. And honestly, I've learned so much from the TikTok comments. Like honestly, things like I never like would ever cross my mind. Like I've learned so much from the comments, and that's really nice to see.
Is that why you're using TikTok? Is it because you quite enjoy like showing everything you want to talk about and then use the comments and you're learning from them? Is that why you think TikTok is like different from other social media and that's why you're focusing on it a little bit?
Yes. So the thing in TikTok is everyone has something to say. That's basically how I describe TikTok. There was a time I took myself off the app for 2 months because it was a bit overwhelming. And that's when that genuine question video went out. I literally privated the video because I knew it was going to hit 1 million views. And I didn't want that because I didn't want that type of attention. And like my mental health comes first. So I literally privated the video and took 2 months off. And I was just like thinking about everything and just reading the comments and so on. And it's like everyone has something to say and it's so easy to say something. Like if you want to make a comment on YouTube, you need to scroll down and then type it, or you need to like log in. But on TikTok, you're kind of logged in all the time, right? And all you need to do is press the comment and type the comment from your phone. Like it's so easy to have to say something. And one of the things I learned the most on TikTok, which sometimes I do, but it's funny, it's kind of like always spell something wrong on your TikTok or always say something wrong, because it will have people commenting. It will make people, it will make someone have a reaction. That's the thing with TikTok. You will always get a reaction and everyone has something to say, no matter the age, no matter anything, everyone will always have something to say. My main goal, noticing that a lot of the viewers on TikTok are from the younger generation, it was more like for them to understand that just because something may have happened to me, does not mean it's going to happen to you. Everyone will have their own different experiences. But obviously this is what happened to me. That's one reason why I don't talk too much about racial issues that happen to me, because ultimately I feel like racism is everywhere, or if it's not racism, it's like a colorist issue. But at the same time, people try to like, I don't know, I call it traffic lights race. They try to discuss whether a country is amber or like red listed or green listed. And I think like ultimately that shouldn't be the point of focus. Because I always tell people I can't describe what a country is racist because I've not met everyone there. I can only tell you about the people I've met, you know, and that should not define an entire country. So I think there's countries that are more open up talking about it, which is good to see. It's definitely good to see. But I think what people also need to acknowledge is curiosity. One thing I tell people a lot is that in China, the biggest travelers of China are Chinese people from different provinces, from rural areas and so on. So I remember going to the Great Wall and our tour guide gave us 2 hours to go take our pictures and come back. And 1 hour and a half was spent taking pictures with people who had literally never seen a Black person. So it was really interesting to see that and see how it was curiosity, because, people would think people approach you very rudely and all that, but usually they'll come, and ask you, are you comfortable about this? And I just wanted to show people, and I saw in the comments how people were expressing how they feel uncomfortable, how other people would express how they feel comfortable, or how other Black people would mention how they got like jobs from that, or how they made friends from that and so on. So it's definitely nice to see different mindsets towards things like that. That's why I posted on TikTok mainly. Yeah.
Nice. And I like the way you said you need to like get people to comment and maybe add a spelling mistake or anything. Is that your tip to make a video go viral?
Definitely. One other thing is that the thing with TikTok is unless you pause the video, it doesn't pause. So if you write something, for example, let's say you spell a word wrong, someone will have something to say and the video will keep playing in the background. So if the video keeps playing in the background while they're commenting what they have to say, the algorithm starts to think like that video is so good, and then it gets pushed over to even more people. So I used to do that in the start just because I know someone will have something to say and I'm just using it as a tactic. But definitely a lot of big creators would recommend that. Not nothing, anything bad. If like, honestly, like a small word, let's say you spell London wrong, someone will have something to say. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Really like that tip. And you said, so yes, you wanted to talk about what you like and what you witness and food and everything. But is it like, what's your end goal with TikTok? I know you said as well, bring up curiosity in everyone. And is it your main goal, or are you also using it for your company, or is it more for what you learned throughout your travels?
So my company, I made a new TikTok page for it, I think 2 days ago. That's what I'm going to use, because I've noticed a topic opening up about how people, obviously because I do Instagram filters and so on, a topic opened up at how people like use them to like poetry appropriate, and people don't know anything about it, so I just wanted to demonstrate and speak more about that. So I've made a new page for that. But my main goal for my actual TikTok is to turn it into a halal food web browser. So whenever someone goes somewhere, they know where to find halal food. That's the goal with my blog as well. I'm slowly trying to turn it into that. I just want people to find halal food. And food is something you eat every single day. So it doesn't have to be my main thing. It could just be me going to lunch and recording it and showing people. Because no matter where I go to lunch, at the end of the day, it's either going to be vegetarian, pescatarian, or it'll have to be halal. So the end goal is for it to be like a halal web browser. And I've also noticed that maybe I should like take my own personality away from the main TikTok page I have now, because the main audience is focused on halal food rather than just my personal journey and so on. That's why I made a different account for my business. But yeah, that's the end goal. Just talk about halal food and just show my travel experience and just for people to see firsthand. Yeah.
And so I know you're already quite busy with your job, your business, and your social media life. But with that halal food browser, is it something you just wanted to on the side, or would that be something you would want to be your future maybe business, or develop that to a point where you could only be focusing on that and with the help of social media?
Definitely, I focus. Like I said, yeah, I think I told you earlier, 3 days work, 3 days my business, and like the last day I spent on like making content about halal food and whatnot. Therefore, I'd love that to be like a full-time thing eventually. So right now, my blog right now, it's a free blog, so I don't make any money off of it. But right now I'm shifting towards turning it into a paid blog. But at the same time, I do get contracts from clients who ask me to come and check out their halal food and so on. So that's also turning into like a side hustle, I guess. So that's really interesting. Mainly they are in London. I don't live in London, so I usually have to take like a day or two out to go all the way to London and so on. So that's nice. It'd be nice to be a full-time thing, to fully focus on travel and food. But I'm also having fun with my business. I do feel like there'll be a point where I have to like decide which one I'm doing. If not, I'd get overwhelmed. But yeah, I love both of them right now.
Nice. That's really cool. You've also mentioned like a few times, like just now being overwhelmed, then one day when you had to switch off a little bit to focus on your mental health and things. What would you say is your biggest challenge with juggling with all those things, everything you're so motivated to be doing because you're so keen? What would you say, yeah, is your biggest challenge at the moment with everything you're involved in?
I think I learned one thing about myself recently, and it's called like a scanner personality. It's like when you see something and you want to do it, but then you never do it 100%. Does that make sense? So like, even like growing up, I'd be trying different softwares every single month.
I don't know if it's just me or if we lost Mabu.
No, we lost Mabu. It's not
Okay.
your point.
Yeah, I just thought it was me. Let's just give her a second. Wait. Don't know if you can hear us, Mabu, but we've lost you. Everyone, hope you're enjoying the session. There we go. Here she is. You're on mute, Mabu.
Oh.
Welcome back.
I was saying, I think the screen froze. What's the last thing you let me say?
Well, you were just starting to answer your, like the most challenging thing when you see something, you want to do it, but you want to do it 100%. That's where it starts. That's
the main issue, like this kind of personality. Like I was saying, even growing up, like I try different softwares every single month. I try different software just because I wanted to know it. But that basically makes you end up being basic at many different things instead of being really good at one thing. And I think that's the main thing I've noticed about myself recently. It's like it's best to be good at one thing than be really basic at many different things. Because like even when I started off with my company, it's about virtual reality and augmented reality. Then I started looking into Google Ads because I felt like I wanted to provide my clients a bit more. But then that kind of like shifts your focus and you don't end up doing that whole thing fully. So I think that's what the biggest challenge is. And I was also mentioning that I like to multitask. I don't know how to not multitask. Like even if I'm watching a movie, I feel like I have to be doing something. Either it's writing a blog or editing a video. I just feel like I have to be doing something. And I think watching international movies helps because then I'd have to stop and read the subtitles instead of having to do something. But definitely, I think that's one of the biggest challenges, having like understanding that it's best to be good at one thing instead of doing loads of different things, but on a very basic level. Because then at the end of the day, you become bad at everything if you just do loads of basic things, like a beginner, and then there's like not even one thing that you're really good at. So right now for my business, I literally took the whole ads management out and everything, and I just focus on AR because that's the main thing I want to focus on. Yeah.
Nice. That's good that you can realize that you love multitasking, but you still think it would be good to focus on one thing. But I remember you in Qingdao and you were always doing so many things and because you just wanted to learn so much, which is really, really good. But it's great to see that you can realize as well and understand it can be a challenge, but you're doing it anyway because you want to learn and be better at what you do, which is a challenge, but in be as well at the same time. Is there anything else you wanted to like touch upon just to how TikTok is maybe helping your business? Any tips you've got for the audience on like recommendation on how to start your own TikTok account to help talk about whatever you're passionate about?
I mean, definitely, I'd say if you want to show your journey, you're comfortable, even if you're not, sorry, I can't speak English. Even if you don't want to show your face, I think TikTok is something very awesome to have. Like just showing the process of your business, it builds trust, it brings clients, it brings people who want to work with you. And it's definitely a very nice place to network. Right now, I've networked with many different food content creators who are from chefs and so on. And that's really nice to see. I've networked with restaurants, honestly. Like some of them saw my TikTok and then they'll reach out to me and they're like, oh my God, we love your stuff. Come, we'll give you stuff for free. And I remember going to one of them and since making the TikTok for them, which altogether I made 3 different videos for them, it hit like about 500,000 views if you add them all up. And since then, they literally reached out to me and they said, come over, we'll give you free food whenever you come and whatnot. And I remember going and there was like a queue of like 30 people outside. And they were nice enough to let me like go in and pass the queue and like just meet the management and so on, which was really lovely. And all of that is just small networking. As I was mentioning to you before the live is as well, a lot of Chinese companies and agencies have reached out to me to work with me and so on, which I think is lovely. I also mentioned that I've worked with Alipay thanks to this type of opportunities. So definitely, if you just want to show your process, if you want to show what you do, you never know, but TikTok is one of the best places because all you need is everyone to start tagging the company. So I've seen loads of people do like adverts for companies and people tag the company so much to the point that the adverts have ended up on TV just from noticing from TikTok. Many articles have reached out to me. I'm working with a very big one at the moment, but yeah, can't really mention much. And just small opportunities like that. You never know where they can like lead you to. So yeah, travel companies have reached out to me to mention about my travel, how it's been finding halal food, and so on. So therefore, if you're comfortable sharing your journey on TikTok, you know, even people just sat down studying, is something that people watch, people enjoy, people can relate to, because that's the main thing with TikTok. It's all about people relating to each other. You find someone who fits into your basket. That's basically what TikTok is. Yeah.
Nice. That's really interesting because I didn't really know much about TikTok before telling you more about it. But that's really interesting to see everything you can do with it, and really great to see that you've been contacted and you're like getting opportunities through that based on what you're posting about and how firstly your experience in China helped you like add content to your social medias and everything. So it's really, really amazing. Someone in the audience wanted to get back on your experience a little bit and asked if anything surprised you when you were up there as like a Black Muslim woman in China, as on a little bit, but I'm sure you probably talk about that in your TikTok, so we can maybe direct the audience later. But is there anything that surprised you and that you wanted to share with the audience?
I don't actually know, something surprised me. I think I went there knowing that everything might be a culture shock. I guess what surprised me is the fact that it wasn't anything I expected it to be, in the sense of it's not what media told me. And like, I felt way more comfortable. People just wanted to be my friend and so on. Like, you know, restaurants would want me to take pictures holding their food. So I don't think, I went with zero expectations, like, apart from like things you see online and whatnot. But I told myself that forget all of that, just go fresh and see for yourself. So I don't think that anything surprised me, but definitely with China, the amount of halal food definitely surprised me, because it got to a point where I was asking myself, is there more halal food here than there is in the UK? Like literally, when I went to Shanghai, I didn't have as much time in Shanghai and whatnot. The halal street food market definitely surprised me. The night food culture was amazing to see. I wish they had something like that in the UK. But definitely, I think that was my biggest culture shock. There was so much halal food, and I was really surprised to see all that halal food. And the fact that a lot of my Chinese friends knew about the halal food as well surprised me, because obviously when I travel, or because I had an international cooking society at university, I made friends from all over the world. So when I went to China, I got to meet them, or Korea or Japan, and they already had pre-booked halal places for me for when we were going to meet. So I'm like, so I'm guessing it wasn't as hard as I imagined, you know. And even on Google, I did find a few results. There's many like places out there. Honestly, it's very, very surprising. And I told people on TikTok recently that wherever you find a mosque in China, there's bound to be at least like 20, 15 different halal places next to it. Definitely. There's always a halal food market. Even in Qingdao, they had like a tiny halal food market owned by like a little Muslim family right next to it. And yeah, it was definitely to see. And it definitely like expanded on the Chinese cuisine, because you have like a general view of what Chinese cuisine is like, but then it's nothing like that once you go there. And like halal food is well known for being different, like, you know, more like on the eastern side of China and so on. So that was definitely interesting to see.
Do you have any favorite dish that you tried in China? What's your favorite one?
I forgot to say the name, but it's good. Yeah, I don't want to embarrass myself, but it's basically like this. I think I sent you a picture of it before. It's like peppers and like the sweet potatoes, peppers, and like it comes in like it's vegetarian basically. You know what? It's called like the let's not go there. But basically, it's like
is it the potato peppers?
Yeah, yeah,
the
that one.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
I
my
love that dish.
number one favorite dish. I think I had that at least twice a week. It was so good. The place I went to was well known for doing that. It was absolutely good. We literally order it. I think I had it like 3 times a week.
That's cool. Thanks a lot for all that. Just in the audience, if you've got any more questions, don't hesitate to pop them in, and I'm sure Mabu will be more than happy to answer. But yeah, I've kind of gone through them throughout the session already, so we've got no more in the Q&A. But yeah, it's been really great to have you, Mabu. I've learned so much. It's been really great to catch up as well. Not seen you in a while. Do you have any more things you want to share with the audience based on your experience? Any you'd like to share whilst we give another chance to the audience?
So I definitely travel. That's basically what I want to advise. Travel as much as you can. And I guess don't make money be your main priority. I remember when basically we were planning our trips in China, and on the group chat I mentioned earlier with the fellow interns, I remembered posting on it how much I was planning to budget for this whole trip. And some of them were like, what? Why would you do all of that? But then to me, in my head, it was not just for China. I want to see more. And the fact that I was nearby, like a ferry away from South Korea, definitely if you travel somewhere, make sure you go to the countries nearby while you can, because you can travel, but you can't buy time. Does that make sense? And like, yeah, there's so much to see. And if you definitely want to understand people's mindsets, how things work around the world, definitely travel. I'd imagine that China would have had a toxic work environment and so on, but it was nothing like that. Just because of how we see it in the media, there's this whole thing called 996. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It's basically the work culture. You work from 9 to 9, and then you work 6 days a week in certain places in China. But then obviously when I went there, I didn't see it like that. Might be the companies or the other interns were not like that. But obviously that's what we hear out here in the West. And maybe some companies are like that, but I definitely think like it's best to go and see for yourself. And I don't think anyone should close away a certain country because they feel some type of way about it, or because they've heard this or that. Because ultimately nothing is kind of like how it seems. And I've learned that the hard way, obviously being from Africa, would see how Africa is represented in the West, but then being from there, I know it wasn't like that. So definitely, just as you know that how people represent your country isn't like that, you also need to understand that how people represent other countries isn't like that. So yeah, definitely people should travel and see for themselves. Yeah. And
so based on your last advice, someone's got a new question. How did you find traveling alone in terms of like safety as a woman? Anything you've got to share on?
Oh, sorry. So basically traveling, I guess I traveled with friends a lot of the time, and then I was solo as well. But East Asia was like the safest place I've ever been to, especially China. It was very safe. Like my friends would laugh at me when I crossed the road because I went up I was up in Yorkshire, and like every time I crossed the road, I looked back every 10 seconds. And like my friends would laugh at me when I was doing that in China because they were like, why are you so worried, But definitely China was the safest country I've been to. So I wasn't that worried. It's like people kind of like obey to the law, South Korea, I've had incidents, where I felt like I was almost getting kidnapped, but it's all experiences and you learn from there, and it's good to like just do on your own or do with spontaneous friends. And I'm really grateful that I had friends that were as spontaneous as I was, because we'd literally just be like, oh my God, let's do this today. Let's go there today. And then we'd all agree together and plan it together. So definitely if you travel with people, make sure you're traveling with people who are also open-minded to do what you want to do. Definitely learn some basic words. In Korea, learning, because I learned Korean for 5 years before going, I knew it for 3 years, I guess. But knowing basic words, it saved me some, in a situation in Korea, honestly. So definitely make sure that you learn some basic words and just download the map apps before you get there. Get your data at the airport if you can't get it before. those things are a must, because ultimately, even if you have friends that are in the UK who are from those countries, can potentially help you. And also go to countries where you're familiar with. I have a whole blog about it, and it's like, kind of like tips for traveling solo for the first time. Kind of like just go to countries that you're familiar with, where you know people you feel comfortable around, or where you know the currency or the language. These are very small things that will have a massive impact. The final thing is, don't start big. Don't just go from England to China if you're scared. You could start from small countries. At university, I used to travel at least like 3 countries a year. So like even if it's Ireland, Spain, France, you know, I just travel from small countries, and then you get used to it, and then you start taking the bigger steps. So yeah, definitely start small.
Really, really cool. So if we're going on your TikTok and things, can we also find your blog on there? Because if you're giving advice on there as well.
Yes. So my blog is called My Plan 8. It's supposed to be like my planet, but like also like a plan and an 8. Don't know if it makes sense. Doesn't make sense if I have to explain it. But yeah, that's basically what that is. I mention it on my Instagram and on the TikTok. I want to talk more about it on the TikTok because I'm on like in the update stage. I'll mention it after I fully updated it, but you can go and visit the blog that's up there right now. I just have a list of like halal places to eat at, or like travel tips, advice, or like travel apps you must have. Just make sure you download this app before you go, because sometimes the app store changes when you travel. So yeah, just make sure you're ready, but don't overpack. I literally had to bin a whole 23 kg suitcase in South Korea. I donated it. I donated like 23 kg of my clothes because there was so many nice things to buy that I literally was like, you know, forget it. I'm donating it and I'm repacking it. One other thing I think people should take advantage of is if you're traveling like short term and you have a lot of suitcases, you could just leave them at rentals at the airport. I did that. I remember going to Japan and I wanted to go back to Korea to shop. So I basically just left it at the airport, like baggage rentals. You just keep them there. So I was like free, you know, less things on me. But yeah, and last advice for traveling, don't take loads of flights in one day. I took 4 flights in one day. That was bad. Don't do that, guys. It was very bad. I was just trying to get back to the UK, but I was ill for like weeks after doing that. So definitely don't do that.
Nice, great advice for traveling. That's really cool. Do you want to put your blog name in the chat for anyone who's listening and that might not have the name of it, if you have it, or your TikTok, whatever you have. Audience, as I'm sure if they're not already following you, now that you've explained a bit more, you promote on there and things, I'm sure they'll be pretty interested. Go and have a look.
Yep, I'll pop that in there now.
I
don't know why it's not opening. Let's see.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Mabu, for all of that, for being here today, for sharing with us your experience and what you do now. It's been really great to know more about what you've been doing. Things. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Hope you enjoyed.
You. I just want to take a quick picture of this and I'll post it on my. But thank you so much. But yeah, I'll definitely make a blog about this. I have a whole how to apply for Pagoda project on my blog. I have like a step-by-step for people to apply if they're interested. And then I just hope the countries open up soon so everyone can start traveling again.
Definitely, that'd be amazing. Thanks so much for all that, Mabu. Thanks everyone who's been joining us today, or if you're watching us back. If you've got any questions, I'm sure we'll be more than happy to connect with you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
More.
Definitely, just need to reach out.
Nice.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.